So we have found his house. All I do know is it stinks of rotten eggs.
Yeah, it stinks of rotten eggs. Oh, you cut me eye. We are making our way from the National Park of 𝗪𝗛𝗢𝗡𝗏 and 𝗦𝗛𝗢𝗢𝗡𝗏 in the Pyrenees back to 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗏 to get the ferry to 𝗪𝗛𝗟𝗟 the following Sunday. We are sad that the trip is ending, but also excited because we are going back to Ireland. We're going to explore Ireland. We are going to make so many upgrades to Fergus, which needs them. And we'll be back in Spain next year. So let's make our way back to 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗏 through the stunning Pyrenees because the trip is not over yet. The van is an absolute mess. Ta-da! There we have Shane the pilot.
The captain and the co-pilot is behind the camera.
Spot the Spanish and spot the Irish.
And it is wrapped up in thermals, coat, 4 or 5 layers, and going swimming. That's the look.
Is it just me or he's crazy? This is just a random Tuesday morning at 9 AM in the Pyrenees. What temperature do you reckon that is?
That is ice cold.
It's coming from the mountains. Directly from there.
So after that amazing cold dip and I'm all freshened up, it's time to hit the road again, and while I drive, Annie is going to be doing a little bit of work on the laptop, so let's get on the road.
We have finally made it to 𝗥𝗧 to do some duties. It wasn't easy coming over with a full toilet and full grey water, so we're gonna get rid of all the dirty stuff in the van and then go for lunch to a really cool restaurant that we love. We went there last year for my birthday because we are starving. And then we have to do some shopping because we've no food either. That moment when you get to the restaurant you wanted to go to and it's closed. I think they are off or something, but they haven't updated it in Google Maps.
We came here specifically.
I haven't had breakfast. How do you feel out of it? We were in the restaurant and Shane was like, I don't know if I left my lights on or not. And what happened?
We left our lights on, but good job, Fergus has a good battery and it didn't die. So, if you have never drove a T25 before, it has no power steering. It is the hardest van to park. It is so hard. He's right under that tree.
Only the OG subscribers remember when Shane caught a fish with his hands in France. He just grabbed it and yeah. So let's see if today he gets another one. Second dip of the day.
Second dip of the day. Earlier on I thought this was going to be the last river that I get to go in, but now we're here, so this one is considerably warmer. Still cool. So as we're getting into mid-October, you can really feel the winter coming in. It's getting dark so early, and tonight, well, the other day it started raining for the first time in months. We hadn't seen rain in months, but now, as you can see behind us, the cloud is coming in. It's going to rain tonight, so hopefully we are good and safe here in the middle of, I don't know even what this is. We are just in the middle of nowhere, and tomorrow we are going somewhere exciting to an abandoned village. Well, not entirely abandoned, it's an abandoned village that 3 brothers live in. So we are going to go and we're going to sleep in the abandoned village tomorrow night. Good morning guys, we woke up here in the middle of absolutely nowhere. As you can see from behind us, we are literally, there is nothing around us apart from this river. So we stayed here last night. We had probably the nicest sleep that we've had the whole entire trip. There was not a sound, and of course it started raining in the middle of the night, so that even adds extra points to how good we slept. But now it's time to get up, have some breakfast, move on, and let's find these abandoned villages. So Annie, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well did you sleep?
I'd say a 10, solid 10. It was so nice waking up with the rain and so quiet and dark last night.
And of course, like, this is the first time it has rained in months.
Months.
So it feels very fresh. We definitely could have done with some of this rain when we were in Portugal, especially down in the Algarve when it was like 30 and 40 degrees. It was horrible. So although it's not the best to have rain, it's kind of nice. So we are coming up to the abandoned village, and it's just up here in the mountains, so let's go explore it. Supposedly there is somebody still living in it, but let's go see if we can find him.
Can we find him?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go try to find him.
Why not?
Because?
See what it's like living in a town on your own.
Oh yeah.
So we're just walking up to the abandoned village right now, and it's hard to believe that
Which is not abandoned.
well, somewhat abandoned. It's hard to believe that somebody actually lives here. The road is not even drivable, you can't even drive up to it. So I do not know what this man does to survive, where he does his shopping, where he does anything. There is literally nothing here. So this place just looks like a bomb has completely taken it out. There's not one building that is intact. There is a church up at the top. We'll be exploring that now in a little bit. But even just walking around here, it's amazing. I'm out of breath. It's on top of a hill. There's just nothing around.
What you doing in my house?
Sorry.
So it looks like we have found the main street of the town, because it's the biggest one and the
Least
bumpy or broken.
occupied. Let's go. We think this man lives up here. So we have found his house. This is the only house in the place that is intact, and you can hear the TV.
It's the only house that has electricity. Look at the line.
Yeah, this is the only house that has electricity going to it. It's pretty weird. I don't know if you can hear it, but the TV's on. So right now we are in the church. There's absolutely nothing in here. It's completely run down. But it's pretty weird. There's like staircases leading up to the tower. The roof above us is falling in, and there's little tunnels going around the whole entire wall, and the altar is falling down. So we have made a quick stop here at these thermal baths, which is only like 10 minutes away from where we were, but you don't get too many opportunities to use them throughout the year because the water levels have to be at a certain height. So luckily enough, the water is low enough and we can get into these thermal baths, but the only problem is they absolutely stink. So the smell of rotten eggs. So this used to be like an abandoned village and is now entirely covered in water. So let's go jump into these thermal baths, relax for a bit, and then go find our next park up in an abandoned village.
So we are here in the thermal baths, and it's so weird because they are so warm. And you may be wondering, why is my face covered in mud? And that's because the water here, it's really good for your skin. It's sulfur water, is that how you call it?
No idea.
It's sulfur water, okay? It has sulfur. And if you put your hand in, let me see.
All I do know is stinks of rotten eggs.
Yeah, it stinks of rotten eggs. The mud in these thermal baths is really good for your skin. So you just put it on, let it dry in the sun. And I don't know if it does anything. We'll see if I'm glowing later on.
It doesn't perform miracles.
Can't smile. My face, this is drying and I can't smile. My face is just, I can't move it. I can't move my face. So we have just made it to Tiermas, which is an abandoned town. My skin is all smooth after the thermal baths. No joke, I can actually feel it. So we are very hungry, and before exploring the abandoned town of Tiermas, we are just having something to eat, quick snack.
Beautiful sandwich.
That's my turn.
We have made it to the abandoned town of Tiermas, I think that's how you say it. And the story behind this town goes that people were emigrating from like these little villages and moving into the bigger cities for work in like Madrid and Bilbao, Barcelona. But there was one neighbour here that refused to leave, and he ended up staying here until he died in 1982, and that is when this town has officially become abandoned. So now we are going to explore it. Now it's a lot different than the previous one we were in, although someone still lives in that one. This here one is still standing to an extent and hasn't started to crumble as much as the previous one. So let's go and explore another abandoned town.
So I just looked it up, and 1,000 people used to live here. There was 140 houses, and the last neighbour that refused to leave died in 1990, so it wasn't even that long ago.
It's just such a pity that nature has taken over it quite a bit, and you can't get into every building, but the buildings that you do get into are pretty cool. When do you think Mass was said last here?
Ooh. Well, your man died in 1990. 1960?
It's been a while. So we were going to actually sleep here tonight, but there's not really much to do. The nature has kind of really overtaken the whole entire village, so there's not really much to see. We'll probably head on, move somewhere else. But if you are in this area, we'll leave it linked down below, and you can come and check it out. It's incredible to see, and there is so many abandoned villages around this area. You can go and visit them all, and of course the thermal baths. So now jump on the Følges, hit the road, and let's make our way towards Pamplona and see where we can sleep.
So after exploring abandoned villages and going to the thermal baths, my skin is so smooth, we have made it to 𝗙𝗢𝗟, and it is pitch black. It's 8 o'clock and it's already black outside. That's something that we don't really like about winter van life. Evenings are really long and dark, but...
Good morning guys, winter is really here in Pamplona. The heavens have opened last night, and this area where you are is kind of getting really swampy, so we better get moving before we get stuck. And you're gonna have to get up. Yeah. The ground is soaking wet and it's very muddy, so let's go. So we are stopped here at another camper van area, and this time it is for Annie to wash her hair. So while she is washing her hair, I'm constantly going, filling up buckets of water for her. This is the joys of living in a small van.
He's done it once. There's like a tornado or something. It's just so windy, raining.
Where has summer gone to?
I don't know.
Is that good?
Oh, you took me out.
The weather is so bad here in Pamplona today. Woo! Back into the van. Good morning guys, we have woken up here in Pamplona. Yesterday we didn't do anything at all. The weather was so bad. We have just drove maybe like an hour to get here, and we stayed in the van all day yesterday because we had nothing to do. We couldn't go outside, but we were parked here last night. Look at the size of these campers. There's one here and there's another one down there. These here would be incredible to go travelling in. You have so much room compared to Følges, but now it's time to jump into Følges, hit the road, and probably make our way to Bilbao today. And I'd say we should make it there for this evening, and then we're going to stay there for a couple of days before we get the ferry. So Annie is in here checking maps. It's time to go. We drove from Bilbao, San Sebastian, all through France, all through Costa Brava, all through the Pyrenees, back to northern Spain, ready to get the boat. And we didn't have one breakdown, which is massive, and I do not want to be on the boat getting blown around this.